What they want to do is exactly what they did recently in the EPA case involving carbon dioxide. We've talked about that. Where they get the Supreme Court to decide, 5 justices, that carbon dioxide, which is scientifically not a pollutant, but the court rules that it is. And then it triggers a domino of actions, including the usurpation of your liberty, energy dislocation, which will eventually drive up the price of all fuel, all electricity, all energy that you use. So they pervert science by using the law to say that something is what it is not. Now imagine taking that mentality and applying it across the board. And in particular, they want to use the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment. Equal protection. The necessary and proper clause. I don't want to make this too complicated. But they want to use the 14th Amendment, which any literate person can read, and any literate person knows has nothing to do with redistribution of wealth. What it has to do with is the outlawing of slavery and the treating of individuals as equals under the law, not equals as a matter of outcomes. And so once again, the statists will seize on the word equal, misapply it, abuse it, reject its context, reject the original meaning of the 14th Amendment and its original purpose, apply it to economic and societal issues, and then claim it's the rule of the land, and there's nothing anybody can do about it at the ballot box or any other way. This is the ultimate abuse of power. This is what Obama is thinking when he decides who to nominate to the Supreme Court. The Warren Court, he felt, was just a little too conservative, not very radical, because it wouldn't get into these areas that Obama feels it should have gotten into. Redistribution of wealth. I explain in Liberty and Tyranny. When you lose the Constitution, when you lose the Declaration of Independence, you're left with the statists deciding who has rights and who does not. The rationing of rights. Because he does not view them as unalienable, he views them as rewarding some people and punishing others. This is all part of a process. All part of a very, very dangerous mentality. You see it at work all across the actions of this administration. And you will see it at work again in the nomination to fill the vacancy that will soon occur at the Supreme Court. Let me add one point about David Souter. I have more respect for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who I detest. I have more respect for Stephen Breyer, who I detest, than I do for David Souter. Because Souter sat quietly when he knew full well that his friend John Sununu and the President of the United States at the time, Bush 41, were telling the whole world that Souter was an originalist, that he would interpret the Constitution, that he was not an activist. He sat there quietly knowing full well he was none of those things. That he would get on that court and he would rule with the hard left time and time and time again. And that's what he did. He deceived the man who nominated him, he deceived his own friend, and he deceived the nation. Good riddance, David Souter. You can't go soon enough for me.